What's up, sunshine? Welcome to CNN 10. I'm your boy, Coy. Happy Motivation Monday. Our energy is influenced by that upon which we focus. So let's get up to speed on the news of the day, then focus on good vibes only the rest of the way. We're going to start today with news of the resignation of the University of Pennsylvania's president, Liz Magill, stepping down over the weekend as officials at UPenn and other colleges have scrambled to address issues related to freedom of speech and hate speech in regard to the war between Israel and Hamas. There has been increased criticism of leadership at institutions where there's a perception that they are not doing enough to combat anti-Semitism or prejudice and discrimination against Jews on their campuses. On December 5th, Magill, along with Harvard President Claudine Gay and MIT President Sally Kornbluth, testified for 5 hours before a congressional hearing about anti-Semitism on college campuses. Magill faced particular criticism over this exchange with Representative Elise Stefanik.
Specifically calling for the genocide of Jews, does that constitute bullying or harassment?
If it is directed and severe or pervasive, it is harassment.
So the answer is yes.
It is a context-dependent decision, Congresswoman. If the speech becomes conduct, it can be harassment, yes.
For months, Magill has been under fire over her response to multiple incidents of anti-Semitism on the University of Pennsylvania's campus. Several board members have stepped down and prominent donors have stopped giving money, saying Magill did not go far enough to condemn the incidents. Fears over anti-Semitism have reached new heights over the past few months following the October 7th terror attacks by Hamas in Israel and the subsequent attacks on Gaza by the Israel Defense Forces, or IDF. Soon after Magill announced her resignation, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Scott Bach, also resigned. Here's CNN's Paulo Sandoval with more.
In back-to-back resignations, the president of the University of Pennsylvania announcing that she would step down just moments before the university official who made her announcement announced that he too would be resigning. Liz Magill announced on Saturday that she would be stepping down from her position as UPenn president. Per university statement, she will remain tenured faculty at the university's law school and also agreed to stay on board while they find an interim replacement. As we've reported before, students, faculty, even donors say that they've lost confidence in Magill after Tuesday's pretty disastrous hearing in which she, along with the presidents at Harvard and MIT, failed to explicitly say that calls for genocide of Jews would immediately violate the respective universities' codes of conduct. Now, moments after Magill's Saturday evening announcement, Scott Bach said that he too would be stepping down as chair of the Board of Trustees at the university. In his statement, Bach writing, quote, "Former President Liz Magill last week made a very unfortunate misstep." Bach eventually writes, "Following that, it became clear that her position was no longer tenable, and she and I concurrently decided that it was time for her to exit." Bach also defending Magill, calling her a good person, a talented leader, and in his words, not the slightest bit anti-Semitic. Bach also sharing some perspective about what may have been Magill's state of mind the day of this disastrous hearing on the Hill, saying that Magill was not herself at the time, that she was over-lawyered, that she was over-prepared, and that she provided a legalistic answer to what was a moral question. And that, Bach says, was wrong.
10-second trivia. What artistic style is renowned Dutch painter Rembrandt known for? Surrealism, Baroque, Impressionism, Renaissance. If you answered Baroque, you are bright. Baroque paintings are known for their dynamic, realistic portrayals of people, everyday life, and religious scenes. A painting valued at $15,000 just a couple of years ago has now been sold at an auction in London for nearly 14 million bucks. You ask how? Well, it's because that artwork has been identified as the work of the Dutch master Rembrandt. Adoration of the Kings, which depicts the encounter between the three wise men and the baby Jesus, has been virtually unseen since the 1950s. Originally, this painting was believed to be the work by a student or an artist close to the famous Dutch painter, but after further examination, the auction house says it's actually the work of Rembrandt, painted around the year 1628. All right, I want you to think of all the food scraps you and your family may have tossed into the trash this week. What if you could take all that waste and turn it into something useful? Well, sisters Anna and Hessa from the United Arab Emirates are doing just that, creating accessories from leftovers you might find in your kitchen waste bin. The fashion industry creates roughly 92 million tons of waste annually. Anna and Hessa's eco business is part of a growing trend of designers using creative materials like industrial waste and coffee to chip away at the industry's impact on the planet. But is it cost effective? Are these products durable? Let's find out.
From this, we created this. And from this, we made this.
Emirati sisters Amna and Hessa are creating leather goods from waste.
People did not believe us when we told them these wallets are made from mangoes. If it ends up in the landfill, you know, it's gonna produce carbon emissions because it's not a very suitable environment for it to compost naturally.
Creating a full-on sheets from mango that was just about to get destroyed somewhere. That was the main reason that we went on and we picked that mango leather.
When it comes to the cactus leather, it's a desert plant, so it essentially needs less water. What we want with basically leather made out of biomaterial is to be as sustainable as possible. Not only looking at the environmental aspect of it, we're also looking at the human part of it.
This led them to coffee beans.
The coffee waste is taken from local farmers in Indonesia and local coffee shops. Cafes no longer need to just throw their waste into the landfill. They can actually give it to the factory and they can produce something new.
Living in the UAE, the government is talking about sustainability, but people are not there yet. There's nothing stopping us from creating our own factory.
You have the power to create a new drive and to change how fashion is consumed in the Emirates.
Today's story, getting a 10 out of 10, is about a dog that was barking up the wrong tree. And not just barking, a 10-month-old German Shepherd puppy named Luna pawed her way up about 30 feet and got stuck. Jeannie Most tells the tale.
Cat in a tree? No big deal, but...
Who let the dogs out?
Who let the dog up in a tree?
I can't believe we found her.
Luna, the 10-month-old German Shepherd, was missing from her Lotus, California home all day and overnight. Her owners and their friends searched the woods. Luka Bogdanovich was driving an ATV.
Look left. I'll be darned, I see something in a tree. And I went, holy cow, that's the dog.
He said, I got good news and bad news. I found your dog, but she's 30 feet up in a tree.
Owner Brian Spees, a painter, got his extension ladder. Was she happy to see you?
No, she was just frozen in the tree.
Though her wagging tail wasn't frozen, Brian carried her down the ladder. He figures Luna was chasing a squirrel right up the leaning tree, then got her leg pinned under a branch.
This is going to sound like a tree pun, but Luna didn't bark?
Nope, not even when Brian was calling her name and whistling. Right by the pine she was stuck in. Maybe next time Brian will be barking up the right tree.
If she ever gets lost again, we look up because she can climb trees.
Poor Luna had a rough day. All right, lovely people, it's about that time. Before I go, I want to show some love to you. I've got a shout out going to Cardinal Ritter High School in Indianapolis, Indiana. We see you. Thanks for reaching out on our CNN 10 YouTube channel. And I've got a shout out going to McKinley STEAM Academy in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I want to wish you an awesome day. Going out and let your light shine, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow right here on CNN